Hello there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frustrated Grad podcast. I am your host, Zach Hughes, the black dude in a black mask with a scarred face. And I'm,
Everything's black.
yeah, all black everything. And I am welcoming my co host via audio this time because of special circumstances. Writer, movie fan, Tony Hoffman.
Those special circumstances that I have just left the theater from seeing Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and right now I'm at a Starbucks to siphon their free Wi-Fi.
That's
Don't
right.
worry, I bought something, so yeah, I didn't
Yes.
just come in and just hook up.
Yeah. Hooking up at a Starbucks does sound intriguing. But, uh, so
Yeah.
Tony is fresh out of the theater. He has just seen Rogue One. And we're
Unlike
getting,
some people,
yeah, I have not seen it yet because of, once again, circumstances beyond my control. But I did not want to miss out on the opportunity to get this raw, dirty, filthy, unfiltered reaction straight after seeing the movie. So,
you just remind me we got to talk about some one big wrestling thing that happened.
oh yeah, definitely. I'll take note of that for later in the show.
Yeah, I know you were
But
excited.
yeah,
You were
uh,
maybe you were a little bit scared. You were excited, then a little worried, then more excited at the end.
speaking of things that make you excited and a little bit scared, how were your feelings before going into Rogue One? Were you optimistic? Were you worried? How how was your what was your thought process when preparing to go to theater?
My thought process, the emotions, the brain things. I'm not a. I'm just gonna throw it out here right now. I'm not like a huge Star Wars freak,
Okay,
hyper fan person.
all
I mean,
right,
I've seen all of them, but I've only done it like I didn't see like the originals until
yeah,
much later into my adult life, and
yeah,
I saw the
kind of
prequels only
similar.
because I saw the prequels only because they were popular, and like if you want to know what's happening, you got to see what the people are talking about, and
Yeah,
I like. I like The Force Awakens. I mean, the more I thought about it, and the more I've seen it, like on Blu-ray, I have it on Blu-ray. Like
okay.
I see the flaws and stuff and
I
everything.
haven't watched it a second time. I'll be interested in checking that out too.
We could just everyone pretty much admits that it's just a Star Wars remake
Yeah,
at this point, and
copy and replace uh, Luke for Ray.
do what works, and that story works.
Yeah,
Um, my expectations coming into Rogue One was that the reviews were fantastic. That had me
yeah,
that got me into the theaters a little bit quicker. I mean, it's before the original, before the events of the very first Star Wars movie, up to the minute, in fact. And
really,
yeah,
that's cool.
get Darth Vader is back.
All
So
right,
it's almost. I mean, you would have really. I think that once you see the movie, man, I think you're going to really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed it.
all right. And like for me, it's kind of similar. Like I'm not like super into Star Wars. It's not like one of those things for me that's like a cultural touchstone. But it's like it's a thing in a culture that I know about. A lot of
Sure.
people like it, so I got into it just because it was like, okay, what's all this fuss about?
So
So
many parodies of it in like TVs and
yeah,
TV
it
and
yeah, it
movies
was
and
like those were the first things I saw. Like I saw Spaceballs before I saw the first Star
yeah,
Wars
same
movie.
here. I think I saw like
So
it was like an episode of like or like Muppet Babies or something when I was like
yeah,
a real little
like so
kid. Like
many
they
people have made references to it. It's like, oh, so that's that thing. Um, so going into like the Force Awakens last year, I was optimistic, but I wasn't like this is gonna ruin my childhood if it's not good. But
I'm so excited, but they better not. They
y-
better have Chewie in it. Han
yeah,
Solo better be in
like
it.
even that stuff, it was like I knew it because I had gone back like research wise and watched them all. But then I was like, you relied too much on the old stuff, so I wanted to see
Yeah,
something different. So like I even with that, I probably liked Rogue One more than a lot of people who had so much of an attachment to A New Hope. So I thought overall I came out with a good feeling about that one. So I'm optimistic for Rogue One because a lot of people say it's much better than Force Awakens. So that sounds good to me.
See, stuff like calling the original Star Wars movie A New Hope is like one of the reasons why I
Yeah,
could never be like a huge Star
yeah,
Wars.
it's like all
That
the
movie is called.
shuffling. Like, okay, it was Star Wars, and then they
It is Star
decided to do all the episodes, and then it was like, okay,
Episode
now this one is
4,
episode 4. Okay, it's like, all right, whatever.
and just
Um,
the George Lucas of it all, the retconning, the going
yeah,
back and editing stuff, and the special effects, and getting rid of actors and getting rid of characters, and redubbing this and
yeah,
putting in new
it's
music and
such a weird thing.
special
Like,
edition.
yeah, they do the special editions that have all like the '90s era CGI thrown on top
Horrible,
of a
shitty CGI.
'70s movie, and then like there's so much of that done to it that like fans had to actually get together and make versions like where they took out the special effects. Like there's I watched a YouTube video about it. Like there's was this huge project where it's like people
I think I know
took
what you're talking about.
yeah, people took like there's one person in Colorado has a VHS of when Star Wars played on TV one time, and that's the only place you can find this footage of Luke walking through town without that CGI creature inserted. So they took this one guy's footage from his VHS tape, and then they took like stills from actual reels that some people had. So it's like they had to piece all these things together just to take out special effects, which is so
Because all
weird.
those like those the original cuts of like the films,
Yes, they're
I would
like
say like
not
for like
available really.
yeah, exactly, those original VHS tapes from like the late '80s and '90s.
Yeah,
They're all like rare editions that you have to like find like at maybe Comic Cons and like eBay or whatever.
yeah, because I forgot the name of whatever this project was, but it was like hundreds of people
The
got
Death Star
together
project.
and pieced together this thing just to get rid of all the stupid extra uh, 3D animation, basically. So
So
I
yeah,
I'm glad that it's in other hands because I feel like
much more. Some would say much more talented.
perhaps like I wasn't like a guy who followed George Lucas at all. Like I know, I know he was involved in Howard the Duck. So like, well, maybe
uh,
he should have the
One strike is
franchise
out.
taken away from him. Um,
Because it's like I'm happy. Like he created this awesome universe with these awesome characters,
yeah,
but the dialogue, even in like the original movies, the dialogue has always been kind of bad at times, and
yeah,
the acting not as sharp. And I mean, when you look at those prequels from the 2000s, I mean, you could see that he kind of needed to have this taken away from him and
yeah,
put it in different hands with different eyes over it to
yeah.
sort of create something new and a little better.
Yeah, and it's funny to talk about how new it is, even though they're going back into the past, talk leading up into the first Star Wars. But I
Literally up to the scene of the
wow,
very first Star Wars movie.
so that so that's interesting. I'm anticipating checking that out. I probably am gonna go see it at the $5 showing on Tuesday because
Because you're a cheap bastard, like most of us.
yes, yes, indeed. A frustrated grad
I should have
to
said
the
that.
core.
Yeah.
um, yeah, like usually with these things, I try to stay up on them, but it just didn't work out for me this week. But yeah, it sounds good, and I'm even more excited than I was before going in to see it. So how is uh, our new
Felicity
space
Jones,
heroine? Yes.
space heroine. Uh, I like her a lot. I mean, she's definitely. I like the whole story of
Okay.
like who she is and why we should care about her. Hannibal, uh, Mads,
Mads
good old
Nicholson. I was like,
Madsy.
you're not talking about my twin
Yeah, he played
Hannibal Burris, are you? Okay.
Hannibal Riss. That could you imagine like the internet uproar? Yeah, he plays her father
Okay,
in the
that's
movie, and
interesting.
it's pretty much the story of this girl. Her father is like an imperial like scientist or he's like one of the people that created like the Death Star,
Okay.
but he's actually like working like for the resistance, or at least he's on the resistance side. And
Hmm.
I don't think I'm giving away like too much of the plot of the movie, but
No, I
like
don't think so. That's interesting
he
though.
puts in like something that can like destroy like the Death Star that he tries to relay to hit, to his daughter that's now like an adult, because at the beginning of the movie we see that she's like a little kid with
Okay.
her mom and her dad, and her mom is like killed by the bad guy of this movie, by members of the Empire. And
Okay.
she like hides, and she ends up like hooking up with like a couple of like rebel resistance people, and then that's
Okay.
pretty much how the movie like kicks off from there. And it's pretty much the story of like her trying to like find her father again, and like
Okay.
mother
So
father relationship stuff with some wacky characters thrown in.
that's cool. So that's interesting with the Mads Nicholson story. So he was involved with building the Death Star. So he basically put in like a kill switch. Is that the
Yeah,
situation?
pretty
So
much.
that's why it was
You
so
said it
easy
better than
for
me.
them to shoot into this one little hole and destroy the whole thing.
It's like you can see that they're trying. I mean, Lucas gets accused of like doing like the whole retconning stuff, but
Yeah,
you could see them like trying to make sense of like
yeah. Make
stuff like that.
they are, and they're basically using an entire movie to fill a giant plot hole from the original. Because that was one thing I've always
Yeah,
heard about. Is like, okay, Luke was able to shoot into this one little hole down this corridor, and it
the
blows up the
sensitive
entire Death Star.
spot.
Yeah, it basically uh, that makes it more interesting. Like, okay, so there was somebody on the inside who kind of uh, exploited this huge vulnerability and exposed it, I guess. So that's
Yeah,
interesting. Um,
yeah, and we
for
got
Go ahead.
the movie. The, we see like the rebel, the resistance, and the various characters, some familiar from the older films,
Okay.
and we see like how they're like planning to like fight up against the Empire, and and how Felicity Jones's character fits in, and how she helps them, and like the different like relationships that she has, like one particular character in the movie. And
Okay.
it pretty much just sets up how the whole beginning of the very first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Um, so that's interesting how like it builds towards that. So uh, without getting really into spoilers, does it
It's so
look like
hard.
yeah? Does it look like base? And after I see it on Tuesday, I'll probably have more specific things that I want to address in our next podcast. But for now, I'll just try to tiptoe around it. But like, does it look like there are prospects for? Uh, is our character's name Jin Ursa?
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Start with a J.
so does it look like there's going to be more of her going forward in future movies, or is this kind of a one shot thing for her character?
I will say no, and I will say yes, and that answer pretty much is
Okay,
the
so
answer
there's an
without
ending that can
spoiling.
be interpreted multiple ways, possibly where
Uh,
it could be like, well, she
I'm gonna.
completed this mission and maybe we'll see her again, but it's not open
I will
ended.
answer. I will answer that by saying no and yes, and
Okay,
you could.
all right, all
Okay,
right.
put it this way. I'll put it to you this way. Since this movie is leading up to the very first Star Wars movie, and we don't see
Her
any of
in
these
that action,
characters,
yeah.
it
Do they all die then? Is that what you're trying to tell me? They all they all fly
I will
into the
say
sun.
yes, and I will say no.
Okay,
Something like that, actually.
I mean, it's for the sake of not spoiling it for other people. I guess I'll stop there. But I could pretty much piece together like, well, these people aren't around anymore, and that's why it would have made more sense. Like like to get off of this subject and into
But look,
another. Go
that's what
ahead.
makes the movie so good, actually, in my opinion. That there's that's
That
finality in it.
there's yeah, that definitely, like, that's something that's missing from movies nowadays, where everybody wants something to be a franchise, and oddly enough, this
Exactly.
thing that is a franchise may have like this one and done thing. That's interesting if that is the case.
And the
uh
characters are, I mean, people are gonna like love these characters, and
and
unfortunately,
maybe be heartbroken.
yeah,
I mean, I assumed as much. I didn't think too deeply into it, but I was like, well, this is before uh A New Hope, and Ray and Finn are 7 movies away from these people, so we're probably not gonna see them in, like, in the current timeline or whatever you want to call it. Cause
we've
this,
heard nothing of these characters.
yeah, cause this is in a galaxy far away in a long, long, long time ago. um,
Yes.
so that's interesting.
So
I think I'm developing more questions that make me more excited for when I go check this out. Um,
and isn't that awesome that like
yeah,
you actually have a movie that has the balls to do that? Because like you just mentioned with the whole like how movies, how in Hollywood they're afraid to do stuff like that because they want to have the door open for a sequel and for like a whole franchise, and then
yeah.
to have a movie that I'm just gonna say a movie that just kills off all the fucking heroes, all the characters that they spent 2 hours, giving you reasons to care about.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely ballsy. I feel like, to reference a movie we've talked about before, Suicide Squad, I feel like it would have been a bold decision, which would have could have possibly shut the door on some money, but it would have been a bolder decision to make that perhaps like a prequel, or to have their mission actually end in um, the way that, like, the group
The
is
title
marketed as. It's like,
suggests.
oh, we can cut ties with these people at any point, and we will be able to disavow ourselves of them because we can just kill them with the press of a button. So it's like, that should have happened to. I mean, it happened to one person who we were not introduced to, but to
Exactly.
make a bold decision like that would have been interesting for that.
These people with like no powers, and
Yeah,
these despicable, horrible people with no powers that we have them do this one job and then we get rid of them because
I mean, I guess
they have no powers and they're evil.
they copped out slightly by saying, like, okay, they locked them back up again and didn't give them any kind of reward, so that is their, like, dark ending, but it still left me a little cold. So I'm interested in checking this out with that
It left me
new
a little
semi
constipated and
knowledge.
nauseous
All right.
and confused.
All right. So, for other people, I mean, sorry for those of you who may have been spoiled, but I mean, if you put
I
two
mean,
and two
like,
together, you could have
exactly.
assumed what possibly happened. I mean,
We
I
don't see
I
these characters
guesstimated it on
anymore.
my own. So, um, so in other reviews for new releases this week, there was something else new that was highly anticipated, and
What could it be?
uh, what I'm talking about is a little game called Super Mario Run.
Oh,
So that was, if anybody out there is friends with me on Facebook, I was excited about this coming up to the
yeah,
point where it was going to be released.
I,
December
I saw
15th.
the posting.
Yeah, December
You were
15th
there
was.
waiting for like
I was waiting at
12:01
midnight
a.m.
on December 15th, and it didn't post. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll just post during, like, regular business hours the next day. And I got up and I checked, like, 8 o'clock. It's not available for download yet. 9 o'clock, it's not available for download yet. I went off
False
to,
advertising.
yeah, I went off to walk with my walking group at work, and I came back. It was during lunchtime, and it was available finally, and I downloaded it and got to playing.
Yes.
Cue the music. So
Yeah.
what was your experience with it?
I like it. I
Okay.
mean, I don't know how many worlds there are on there. Like after I played like the first three games that they let the first three levels that they
Yeah,
let you play for free, and
the
then
teaser levels.
giving in exactly, then playing the 20 seconds and gave in to the 9.99 purchase. There are only like 6 worlds on there, I believe.
It looks
I don't
like
know
it.
if like you just play them over and over to because I think like the replayability is built in like getting all of those
The
like
little
getting as many
pink
points and getting
coins
those
and
those those pink coins and stuff.
so I'll reveal how it went for me. After all the build up and I was finally able to download it, I was actually a little bit disappointed in the fact that number one, I don't like infinite running games. I've never been a fan of those, and
Me neither.
kind of like the teaser of having to, you get to play these first 3 levels, then you have to buy it. I That's where it stopped me, right at that paywall. I haven't gone past that actually.
You
So
haven't.
no, and here's
You didn't know that it was 9.99 or like
I heard
beforehand. Like
some
I was
things
actually
about it.
surprised that.
I heard a little bit about it, but I wasn't sure, so I checked it out when I downloaded it, and it was like, okay, it looks like you could just play it. So I started, and then it hits you with that barrier. So here's my
you
thinking
didn't
of
try to like beat you didn't try to beat the level in 20 seconds.
no, I. That's the thing with those running games is like, that's why they irritate me so much. Is that it's like I can't just turn around. So that's frustrating. Like getting into the mechanics of it is I'm gonna have to get used to. But also my thinking, and this is my fault because I have an iPad, which is my iOS device, but I have an Android phone. So I'm thinking about the
Ah,
fact that like this game is made to be played with one hand, so it's probably best played on a phone.
like most things are
Yeah, it's
with one
so
hand.
it's best to play it on a phone. So it's kind of awkward to play it on my big iPad. So it's like I know the Android version it's gonna be out a little while after the iOS version. I don't even think they have a date yet. So it's like
Do you have a do you have a problem with the I think it's like a the vertical look of the
the
game, like
orientation.
the
Yeah, like
orientation.
holding the iPad vertically is not the most comfortable scenario. Yeah, I was hoping it was like formatted like some other games. Like Candy Crush is a game that's made to play on a phone, but you put it on an iPad, you can turn the orientation wherever you want, and it adjusts. But Super Mario Run doesn't, so that made it harder to get into
When you
for
think
me.
Mario, when you think Mario, you think of like that bigger sort of
Yeah,
landscape where
landscape,
you can see
like
everything. Yeah.
yeah, of all games, like okay, it's a platformer where you traverse across
In
this
case you,
big landscape. So
in case
you,
you can't tell, I'm in a Starbucks with
yeah,
kids and stuff yelling. It's Christmas time.
yeah.
I think that's what's been.
That was a commentary on the game. This kid is not impressed.
No, no. Yeah, I think that's what's been missing from this podcast is some violin music, Christmas music.
Yeah, hope YouTube, if you're scanning this video right now, please don't give me
Thank
a
you.
copyright strike. This is just ambient background music. We are not trying to
I think it's just
sell this music.
generic music.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much like uh, stuff you can just play, like
We're
stock
frustrated
music.
grads. We have no money.
Yeah, so please YouTube, don't strike us. But like with the
I
game, I
like
was
I like the
thinking,
game.
yeah,
I like the game, but like, I mean, but you can. I'm assuming that like the worlds, the 6 worlds on there. I'm assuming that it's going to be pretty much limited that way, and the whole like hook of the game is to just get as many, get as high as, get as much points you can get to like break your records and like
I think there's only
share your
so far you
profile and
can go
share your
with it.
records and stuff on social media.
There's only so far you can go with it. I'm assuming there's gonna be an update at some point. Then they add some more worlds, or there has to be something more to it. Because like if Candy Crush just stopped at level 20, people wouldn't just keep playing those previous levels again. There has to be something else to it. And also there's supposed to be a mode where you can build your own level. Is that in
Oh,
this
nice.
version of the app yet? Because as of
I haven't.
now, I haven't seen that. I see the area where
I
you can build your little kingdom and add buildings and stuff.
Oh, so you've gone into I've paid for it, but I haven't even gotten deeper into it yet. I haven't even done like the little Toad Rally things where you get
Y-
like tickets when you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
clear a
I'm
stage.
still not exactly clear on how that works, but it looks like that stuff is connected to the area of where you build this little kingdom. I'm looking for.
This Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, it shows the little mushroom house at the top, and then you can add these little things. And I guess it's kind of just a way to insert microtransactions into the game because, if you have a mobile game, you have to find some kind of way to pay for playing it more, getting extra benefits. So that's their little way of doing that. So,
How have you been enjoying the whole runner aspect of the game? Like, do you like being able to like hop on Goombas and jump higher in
I
the
think
air? And
I think it's weird that he just automatically jumps over
yeah,
Goombas if like so it doesn't hurt him at all. And I guess that's just as some people say in the gaming community that's a way to nerf the villains. You basically take away the threat of them by making like, okay, you can jump on them and kill them if you want, but they won't automatically kill you. It's just a weird aspect of it, but that's okay. But
I want the satisfaction of squishing Goombas.
yeah, I just feel like the game and the mechanics of the game are so close to what Mario actually is
Yeah,
that it would seems like it's harder to render a game where it's like he's constantly running. It's like, wouldn't it be easier to just make him stop and then you control him when you want? Like, why couldn't they just make this a Mario game? But I guess this is just you're just fitting
I
into the current trend of gaming. It's
yeah,
infinite
I just hope that
runners.
I just hope that this isn't a trend for Nintendo where they get away from like the consoles and they like start strictly making Mario games for for um for mobile devices because I mean I enjoy playing mobile devices and sort of like
Hmm.
a I'm on the train or on the bus or at the doctor's office and I need
Yeah,
to kill some time, but I will never enjoy them as much as being at home on a console
yeah, that's the
where you have
best experience
yeah
of
better
it.
control and
Yeah.
bigger picture
I feel
and
like
everything
with the
else.
whole Switch and everything, I feel like they're still going to have that other market, but I would like for some of that stuff to cross over. I know we talked about it last week that that's a dangerous thing for them, is because they need to sell hardware, so they need
Yeah,
the premium Mario experience to be Nintendo only, I guess is the idea. So it's kind of like, okay, you can have a taste of Mario by playing this mobile game, but
an appetizer.
it's just to bring you back home to Big Nintendo, so you can
Describe to me more the premium Mario experience.
premium Mario
I
experience
like
where you get the luxury of stopping every now and then.
that.
Like you have to pay to do less. Um, but I
I've never
guess
heard somebody say that before.
yeah, the the premium Mario experience only on Nintendo Switch. Um, so this, like I said, since I don't like runners, but I love Mario, I'm torn, and I'm also torn by the idea that I will have to buy the game twice. I'm not really looking
Really?
forward to that
Oh
because
yeah.
like I'm like unless I get a new phone and I get an iPhone, then
Yeah,
I'm
give
gonna be
in.
in two different environments playing this game, and I'm wondering how that's gonna work. And I don't even know when it's gonna show up on my Android phone. So I'm probably going to do the buy the full version on the iPad sometime soon, but I've
Who's
been a
your
little bit
carrier?
hesitant.
Your
I
cell phone
am
carrier?
on Metro PCS. The
Ah.
apparently it's currently the drug dealer's choice of phone
No more
carriers,
cricket.
from
Does
what I've
cricket
heard.
still exist?
I think so. I think I've seen one of those.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. The place I'm thinking of is I think it switched over to something else. So I don't know exactly the status of Cricket. It's always seemed like one of the low end places to me. It was like we only
When you
have
don't
these
want to get,
four phones. It's like
yeah, when you don't want to get roped in by a contract,
yeah,
and
it
you
was
just want
like
like a.
I was able to do the same thing with Metro PCS, and I was able to keep my same phone. So I mean, I
I
have
just
an
need this
unlocked
phone
phone.
for 1 month, for
Yeah,
2 weeks,
yeah.
500 minutes,
Yeah, make one call and then throw it against a
throwing in
wall,
garbage.
smash. uh,
The police can't track you.
yeah, that's what I thought of. Like thinking about the Wire from back in the day, like where they still had like I guess you call them dumb phones now. You get the burners. It's just the the feature phones with just the buttons on it. But it's like, do they have
Yeah,
burner smartphones? And I guess like if you that wouldn't be as much of a burner if it,
expensive.
yeah, you have the little touch screen and everything. Like you wouldn't want to throw that away. And I guess it'd be easier to track if you were accessing the internet. So I guess maybe burners, it might just be a thing of the past now.
All of my pictures and everything is synced up. I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like maybe that's what happened with some of the celebrities that got hacked a little while back. They tried to buy and dispose of an iPhone like a burner phone. It's like, hey, everything's still on here. Let's take a look. But yeah, so that's where I am with Super Mario Run. I'm probably gonna get a little more into it in the coming week, but so far I'm slammed headfirst into a paywall. Yeah,
Bleeding from the skull.
yeah.
How is your Christmas? How's your Christmas shopping going? Have you started yet?
I have not started, and I will not because I
Oh,
don't I don't
bah
I
humbug!
didn't really get into that. Growing up, my family was never really like
You're Jehovah's Witness.
close like
You're you're
that.
you're Jewish.
I mean, it was to me the way I was raised is like Christmas is a thing for kids. So like when I started working um, during like high school or whatever, like I stopped getting Christmas presents and
Oh wow.
I just started buying stuff for myself. So
I
it's
mean, like
never
my,
really been like a huge thing for
I'm
us.
trying to think. Like my mom and stuff stopped giving us presents. I think around like in high school, like later in high school, and like
Yeah.
she would just give us money,
Yeah,
which is something.
that's what it is now. It's that it's not like I don't get anything, but it's like now I'll just get some money. And it's like, okay.
Which is
Merry
fine.
Christmas.
But I still want like just that satisfaction of like seeing someone's face when they open up a present that somebody put some thought into to give you. Like that's the whole point of Christmas. Is that
See, I never
it's
really
the
had
giving.
that. I had
You evil bastard.
my family's
You're
just
the
a
Grinch,
little.
aren't you?
My family's just a
You're
little
not.
bit
You're not.
different. And
You're
the
not.
one time I can think of from the past where I like actually like opened up a package and got something out of it. It was like it was a hoodie. So it's
It
like
was the
sure,
greatest hoodie ever.
yeah, I think it was like a Gap hoodie. So I don't really have like those fond hallmark moments of like unwrapping an Ultraman on Christmas morning or
Or
something
really, like
like
your whole,
that.
even as a little
Jingle all
kid.
the way. Um,
Really? You
no,
never got like
like
a video game or like
I
a.
got that stuff, but I guess maybe one of my problems is that my birthday is in October, so it's like so close to Christmas that it wasn't really that special for me because we like my mom and I always used to kind of like negotiate. She'd be like, "Well, if you get this now, then you're getting this much less on Christmas
Yeah.
or whatever."
Preparing you
Like,
for adulthood. You have
yeah,
to
it's
make bargains.
like you can get the game system for your birthday, and that means I'm gonna get you clothes for Christmas or something like that. Or if you hold off on this thing you say you want for your birthday, then you can get it on Christmas. So it's like there's always like a push and pull. So it's like I was impatient, so I usually just cashed in those opportunities for my birthday. So it's like, oh, Christmas again. I'm just gonna play this thing I got a couple months ago for my birthday.
Aw.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much
I haven't
me.
even put my tree up yet.
I have a little disposable tree. It's like pretty thin, like fake tree. Uh,
Nice.
but I just pulled it up from the basement. and my cat isn't probably knocking the ornaments off of it now. Um,
Ornaments.
yeah, it just has the same ornaments that were on it from last year. I just pick up the entire tree and take it
Sure,
down and put it in the basement.
I do that too. Yeah,
So
I do that too.
straight up
Artificial tree with the
Charlie Brown
yeah.
style.
Yeah, man. It's like it's been like here in like Chicago. It's been so cold and stuff, and
Yeah,
like I haven't even been in much of a, like a Christmas like mood.
yeah.
It,
It's just weird to think that it's actually next week. Uh, uh next week Sunday.
on Sunday, the
Yeah,
worst day of the week. All the good holidays are on Sunday this
yeah,
year.
yeah.
New
So
Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
I guess I just have grown out of it maybe because it's not even a big deal for me. It's like okay, Christmas. It doesn't really have a specific feeling for me now. It's like I used to be like, oh, I can't wait to have this time off of school and to be able to watch whatever specials were playing on TV. And that was like kind of more of the things that I thought of for Christmas when I was younger, or like I would go to the movies a lot on Christmas, like with my brother.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, okay, it's just another day. And I guess that's
Is
my
like get up and make some eggs and toast.
yeah, that's my grinchiness in my old age of 31.
Have you ever heard the song that Eric Idle from Monty Python has called "Fuck Christmas"?
I haven't,
I'll
but
send you a
yeah,
I'll
that
send you a
sounds like
link to it. It's pretty funny.
that's up my alley. Um,
Yeah.
I forgot
So what
that
holidays are you?
Gucci Mane song you sent me a little while back.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that'll get me turned up for Christmas, get me in the mood to celebrate.
What holidays do you get excited about? I mean, I know Halloween is around your birthday. Are
I
you
dislike Halloween specifically for
birthday?
that reason. I yeah,
Oh,
I get more excited about my birthday than any other holiday. I think it's just like that's
existence.
yeah. It's like it's my new year, so like I I don't even really do much for it. I just get excited about it. It's just like hey, it's my birthday. Happy
I'm still
birthday to
alive.
me. 10
Or I
10.
also.
Yeah. I just I like my birthday because it has a special date. It's symmetrical. It's two tens, and yeah, that's about it.
Oh, you got to tell me about a 10-10-10. What did you do for
I
October
for
the 10th, 2010?
I was living on the Gold Coast at that point, and
Large.
it was the day of the Chicago Marathon. So I don't really think I ended up doing anything but just watching people out my window like saying you can do it. So I think that was how I spent most of
People
my
shitting
birthday.
and peeing on themselves.
Yeah. Luckily, where I was on LaSalle, I think they still had enough energy that they weren't at the shitting and vomiting and peeing stage quite
Uh,
at that point.
so it
Uh,
wasn't that entertaining. That's
yeah,
not.
it was just a lot of people with hope in their eyes and a bounce in their step before they get to the South Loop where they perhaps fall out and die. Um, but yeah,
They knew what they were getting into.
yeah.
Um,
Eventually, I want to try to run one of those marathons because,
Me
like I
too.
said, it's always around my birthday, so that could be something to aspire to one of these years.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like, I would start off with like, because I was thinking about doing like a 5K, like the hot chocolate run and like the some of the other like themed little
Yeah, I know there's
races
like a
that they have.
Marvel run they do in some
Some
places.
the Ditka run and like the other little weird ones that they have.
Yeah, I would like one of those ones, like the Marvel one that I'm thinking of. They give you like, I think they just give anybody who finishes this like medal, and it like has all like the different Marvel characters on it. So I would run it just to get that.
Just to get that, I was
Yeah,
about to say. You
I
don't care about your
just
health.
drag
You don't care
myself
about
across the
charity.
finish line. It's like, where's my medal? Where's my medal? Yeah, that's it. That's
Sword the next
my
day.
first and last marathon. It's funny. There was a great story that people should look up of CM Punk talking about running the Chicago Marathon with like only less than a day's notice. He just decided and ran it. So it's a
He is
pretty
a
good story.
professional athlete.
He's a professional athlete, but like when you decide to do
Still got to
something
train a
like
little,
that,
yeah.
yeah, when you decide to do something like that on less than a day's notice, there are the obvious setbacks that you will encounter. So you check out that story. It's
Chicago, Chicago made Punk as he's a interesting individual, Zach.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that story is pretty funny. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. But
Speaking of CM Punk, you see Raw on Monday?
yeah, I think Raw was the only wrestling show I watched this week. Well, I watched Total Divas and Raw.
So
That
did
was my
I.
wrestling viewing for
Unfortunately,
the week. So we're on the same page.
it's like okay. I'll tell you why I watched that show after you tell me why you watched that show.
I'm actually like I heard good things about Total Divas this season. It seems to be there's more action involved in the. There's more Daniel Bryan involvement. I haven't watched every episode this season, but I wanted to see like some of the stuff that was going on with Daniel Bryan because like I I tried the first episode of Total Bellas, and that was so
That is unwatchable.
yeah, it was, and plus, like, it was too much Bellas, too much Nikki Bella. She's extremely annoying, and
It's so focused on them, and I find them kind of annoying.
yeah,
It's like the good thing with like Total Divas, at least you have like Lana and like Renee
yeah,
Young and Eva Marie and everybody else.
yeah, and that was another hook for me to watch Total Divas because, like, Lana was on it. I think this is her first
Yeah.
season, and I was like, oh, I can hear her real voice, and it's so weird to hear her real, like, American accent, even though she was born in Russia, but she clearly has like I don't know, it sounds like a Florida accent or something. So
K-Fab killing
yeah,
accents and other things on that show.
yeah. So that's interesting to see all that and just like them arguing about getting married in Bulgaria versus
Yeah. Do you think that Lana and Rusev are gonna have a beach wedding, or are they gonna have a wedding like Rusev's traditional homeland?
well, it was spoiler alert. They had two. We already know because they mentioned it on Raw like 6 months ago. Like
But
yeah,
I
they had
haven't
two
seen it.
weddings. So that was the problem with Total Bellas for me because it was so far in the past. It's like I think I'm
Do
gonna
you
have
think
to
Nikki
retire.
will wrestle?
Yeah, it's like will Nikki ever wrestle again? It's like
Will Daniel wrestle?
it's like I know the answer is yes and no. So done. So like this one seemed to be at least even though it's still in the past, it's kind of like they're past the point where like okay, Brian's not coming back, and Nikki's on her way to coming back. So
On the
it,
mend.
yeah, so there was more stuff where I could get into, and like Maurice is there, Maurice and Miz.
Yeah, that's
She's talking
interesting.
about
Yeah,
getting a
I find them
gun.
interesting.
It's funny, like that whole thing where she's talking about getting a gun, and she goes to the gun shop. I was like, I don't know anything about guns. I'm Canadian. It's just like, what is that? Like, I get it. It's like
They
that's
have guns
they have guns, but like hunters have guns. I don't think like every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a gun in Canada like
because they're
they do
Canadian
in
and they're
America.
nice and
Yeah.
polite.
Like,
I'm
what
interested
did
to
you
see
say
what they do
about
with
my
the
mom?
whole
Pow.
a boot, mooses, bagged milk, Canadian
Is it
ham, Tim
mooses
Hortons, all the
or
stereotypes.
meese? I'm sure it's not meese. But
I,
yeah,
I'm
so
interested to see like what they do with the whole Page thing, the Alberto Del Rio
yeah,
Page thing, and the whole Eva Marie stuff too.
yeah, listening to I forgot about the Eva Marie, yeah, because she gets suspended. That's probably not even gonna be until like next season, based on like their timeline, because that wasn't too long ago in real time. So she might
Was
finish
that like
out the season before she actually gets suspended.
that was like August, I think?
Yeah, so they might not get to that point. But I guess we'll see, because
They,
she gets
because the
suspended
season,
after Nikki returns, right?
yeah,
So I
'Cause
don't know
they
if
they
Nikki's gonna
started the
return.
season with like WrestleMania, right?
Did they? I didn't see the first episode of the season, so I'm not sure.
I think it was. I think
Okay.
it was because it was like what's her face had her first match. Lana had her first match as
Oh,
a
yeah.
wrestler. And that was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and she's gone all the way around back to not wrestling again. So, but yeah, so that stuff was interesting. So, and I heard on a wrestling podcast that I was listening to that it sounds like Paige's last episode is probably sometime soon. If not this one from this week, it may have been her last episode. Because, like her getting with Del Rio it was pretty
Frowned
soon
upon.
before. Yeah, it was frowned upon, and then they split them up on different brands. So they probably she probably disappears from the show right around that
Yeah.
time, and I think they're close to that point.
That was July, and I think that's coming up on an episode.
Yeah. So yeah, we might not see any more Paige on Total Divas. I was surprised to think that she was actually on there to begin with. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, me
well
too.
she was around, and so that's a weird thing to see, like where that happens and if they address it, because it's like she's kind of spiraling out of control on the show.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah, it's really
It's
sad.
amazing. Yeah, it's like
Even like the news stories you hear about are like things like
proposing in the ring and stuff to
yeah,
him.
she proposed to him, and then like I think at some point she stabbed him, or like I guess that's the
He was
speculation is
being,
that
he,
he's
what,
she
he was
stabbed
like,
him.
he was defending her, or it was something with like some
It's
people,
some
yeah,
weird
robbery.
situation. So yeah, it's all
Fun time.
crazy. So that's part of what's hooking me into watching it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm finally intrigued to see what's going on this show.
How are
So
they gonna handle it?
yeah,
That's why I'm watching it. So
yeah,
I know that I know that you were happy with what happened on Raw with your favorite,
yeah.
everyone's favorite tag team, the New
A
Day.
record was was met after Raw, but I was a little bit worried that it wasn't gonna happen, because the New Day was one day before setting their record as the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions.
Beating Demolition's record.
Yeah, so I think midnight on Monday/Tuesday morning it would have been the day that they met the record, and then I guess the following day they broke it. So it was like interesting. Like I saw they had the three-way match with the Club and Cesaro and Sheamus at the beginning of the show. So that let me think that okay, they're going to win this match. But then
Get it
like
out of the way.
when they did the celebration, I was like, oh no, they're spending too much time on this. They're focusing too much on it. Plus they did the match earlier. It's like it's not gonna end well. Plus they didn't address it on the show at all, but I thought they were going to end up doing a rematch from that same match, because I don't know if anybody else noticed, but Kofi wasn't actually the legal man when he got the pin in that match. I
I didn't
think
know that.
I think the two legal uh, men in the ring were two members of the other teams, but like there was this like big finisher sequence, and then Kofi comes out of nowhere and hits the Trouble in Paradise and pins. I can't remember which person he pinned. I think it was it Sheamus. He pinned somebody to win the match, but I'm pretty sure
I don't
he
remember.
hadn't tagged in. So I thought that was going to come up, and there was going to be like a dispute and a rematch based on that.
But
But
no, it was for something completely stupid.
yeah, I didn't like the reason for that. It's that, like all of a sudden Stephanie has this vendetta. It's like, I'm gonna make sure you lose your titles tonight. I mean, I guess it was spurred on by Kevin Owens, but like it was initiated by Stephanie getting splashed with champagne, which is just stupid. It's like that's what happens with
During
like
celebrations with
celebrations.
champagne.
It's kind of a an accepted thing that happens. So it
What's that thing that they? I don't know if it was like Stephanie or Shane about how the authority figures weren't going to be the focus and it was going to be
well
all the superstars.
Shane was the one who was more on that bandwagon, despite putting himself in the match where they said they were going to feature their
Survivor
five
Series.
best male athletes, and Shane puts himself on the team. But besides that, that's more of a SmackDown thing. I guess Stephanie is firmly established that I'm going to be on the show whenever I feel
Yeah.
like it, and I'm going to be a focal point when I want to be.
Going to be the
So-
Divas champion out of nowhere.
Who knows? But yeah, so that I didn't like the reasoning for that, and like as she kept adding teams, it was like okay, it's Kevin Owens and Jericho's like okay, they have dissension, so that's the reason why they won't win it. But then she proceeds. Well, Mick Foley puts the Shield, two members of the Shield, and it was like, God damn it. So it built up anticipation, and that was probably the most anticipation I've ever had for a tag team match.
Yeah.
So
Because that was
that
at the end of the show,
yeah, it
right?
was the main event. So I'm glad they got that spotlight for the New Day because this is like it's a milestone that it probably won't be reached for in the foreseeable future because I don't think anybody's going to be able to keep the fans' attention as a tag team for that long where they'll be willing to keep the belt on them. It might just be like an accidental thing. Like nobody cares about this team, so we didn't realize they didn't lose the belts. Maybe that'll happen in the future, but I feel like nobody can
How long do you think?
carry interest for that long.
How long do you think they keep the belts? Do you think they'll hold on until WrestleMania, or do they you think they lose it sooner?
I feel like it makes more sense to for them to hold it until WrestleMania, and then they can drop them to Enzo and Cass, which seems to be like the popular idea out there. Is like you need to give somebody like it gives whoever beats them a huge boost, and it propels them into stardom by beating the New Day. So like the people who most people would want to see that happen for is Enzo
Cesaro
and
and
no,
Sheamus. That's who
no,
the people
no,
want.
no. That is not a marquee match at all. Like the New Day versus Enzo and Cass is a match you can put on the marquee for WrestleMania, and people will tune in for that match, even with all the other stuff that's happening. So that's the biggest match they can make. So I feel like that's what they're going to end up doing. So that's gonna pad their record even more. It's gonna be well, they're gonna be like close to 600 days at that point or something like that. Because WrestleMania is like what is it? Usually
Because April
February
the
or no April time. So
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be into the way into the higher digits with that number. So I'm not sure if they're gonna make it all the way to that point because it sounds like a long time based on the fact that it's December now, but it makes the most sense.
Do you remember anything else that happened on the
Yeah,
Raw?
with Raw, it was really to me it was just everything was just leading up to that point, and so like everything else just fades into the background because even the Kevin Owens Jericho stuff was just leading into that match, so it's kind of like everybody decided to kind of take a backseat to New Day that episode. I mean, there was a whole thing with Sami Zayn and Mick Foley,
Yeah, almost getting traded
which was
to
weird
SmackDown for
because
Marie.
why do you want to tease someone leaving your show when everybody in the crowd wants that to happen? It was like they were like people in the
Exactly, that
crowd
was
were
horrible.
cheering like yes, yes,
Yeah,
like this is not making your show look good. It's promoting what's supposed to be your competition, and it's teasing them for something that's better than what they're going to get. Like you know what is a good idea is to separate Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens because they had a great match that was supposed to end their feud, and then they proceeded to wrestle each other two other times after that, after the last match ever that how it was promoted. So that basically killed any momentum for that feud of former best friends. Now it's just another thing. So, like, if you separated them, that could be a big thing again when they clashed again, if they're like both champions or something. Also,
I
there's
was. I'm sorry.
also there's so much more opportunity for Sami Zayn on SmackDown. Like they need people, they need contenders for the World Championship. They need bodies on SmackDown, and he could be a a interest
Get
an
more of a
interesting
spotlight.
addition. Yeah, and get more of a spotlight. And
They need more superstars, more male wrestlers on
yes,
that
they
roster
need
there.
star power because they're relying on people like James Ellsworth, and it's like his time has come and gone, and they need to move on. Have people who can actually be taken seriously. I didn't watch this week, but it sounds like Dolph Ziggler is back in contention for the world title. It's
He's the number one contender.
why? Why is that happening again? Like nobody cares. People barely cared the first time, and now it's clear like, oh, this is just a time filler because we're on the road to WrestleMania and we can't blow off a
Who
big
else?
match yet.
who else are they gonna have? I mean, Ambrose. I mean, just did him.
Yeah,
Like they're not gonna do the Miz. I mean, he's the IC champ.
I mean,
I mean,
I would like to see Miz in contention for the world title. He's probably the person who I'm most interested in on the SmackDown roster right now. But they just aren't doing that. Like, and they brought Jack Swagger over there, but decided, you know what? We
he
changed our
hasn't been on
mind.
TV in
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, we changed our mind. We thought we were gonna do something major with him and change his character up. Never mind. like, he's just gonna
I
be the
was
same nothing person he was.
I was watching a video from the What Culture channel, the YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
they were talking about how like Mick Foley was so like he didn't want Sami Zayn to wrestle against Braun Strowman because of
it's
he
so
might get
stupid.
hurt,
Yeah,
but he didn't care about like he didn't care about like R-Truth or what's his face
yeah. All the people he sent in there with him
Curtis
who had
Axel.
like 150-pound weight disadvantages. He didn't care about any of those
Get their
people's
asses
health.
destroyed.
He's like, hey, they signed up for it. They got the $1,000 and
Stupid.
go with God. But
Stupid.
it's like, I mean, I guess it's because he sees Sami Zayn is more of a commodity. It's like, I don't care if R-Truth gets
Wow.
his neck
Or
broken.
Curtis Axel.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I like
Mick
Curtis
Foley.
Axel.
Yeah, but Mick Foley clearly prioritizes him way lower on his roster than Sami Zayn. But it was just stupid reasoning. It's like it was kind of the same thing with the women's Hell in the Cell. He's like mansplaining to them, like, you're not ready for this,
This
and
is incredible.
And
You
like,
don't know what it does to you.
yeah, and it's like, okay, well, just do it anyway. It's like, okay, if you're gonna let them risk their lives, in your opinion, in the Hell in the Cell, let this guy fight a bigger dude. It's something that used to happen every week in the
That's
Attitude
just not
Era.
working out, by the way. The whole Mick Foley GM thing. It's
No,
not.
it sounds like it may be coming to an end soon. I
Thank
just
God.
saw a snippet of a headline saying that he might be taking a break. So who knows? Um, but like,
Yeah, he's lost 100 pounds. So congrats
yeah,
on that.
hey, good for him. Um,
And he lost a tooth a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago.
I'm sure that's well. Yeah, he lost his dentures in another fiery promo with Sami Zayn. It it was a weird thing this week also when they went back and forth, and he was like threatening to trade him for Eva Marie. I would like for them to point out the fact, like, oh, this is an even trade. Like, he's trading a redhead for a redhead. It would have been a nice reference. Like, although I think she has like, she's brunette now. She's filming some movie, but that would have been a nice little reference if commentary decided to chime in. But that whole thing was weird because it's like, okay, now I wanted to see how angry you were, and I wanted to see that you had the passion to fight Braun Strowman. It's like, okay, that was a long way to go just for that. He could have he could have given him some like qualifying matches, like, okay, fight this cruiserweight, then you fight this guy who's about your size, then you fight a guy who's slightly larger, then you fight the Big Show. Now we'll see if you're ready for Braun Strowman. He could have done something more interesting leading up to this. And like one theory that I thought was interesting, because like I don't really care about Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. Not that invested
No,
in it. So it's like,
squash
well,
match.
it would have been nice if they decided to actually go through with a trade, and that person of equal value they traded was like Baron Corbin. So it's like, okay, Baron Corbin can wrestle Braun Strowman because Braun is asking for competition. So it gives them something to do, two big guys to just run against each other. And then Sami Zayn can go back and possibly have his rematch with The Miz, because that was something exciting from Survivor Series that just no follow up on. And then there's a whole new world for Sami to explore over there, but that's not happening.
Makes too much sense.
Yeah, it's like, I don't ever plan on trading you. Now it's like, okay, the one thing we really want is the one thing you just declared that you were never going to give us. So thanks a lot, Mick. So yeah, that didn't give me too much to be excited about. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of my wrestling viewing for the week. I mean, I watched Total Divas after that, but Yeah, so that's my contribution for the wrestling talk this week.
Are you gonna watch a Roadblock End of the Line tomorrow night?
I'm probably gonna check it out. I I just recently canceled my WWE Network subscription,
I think
but
mine's ending soon. I'm not sure.
yeah, so maybe I'll get it back to watch that, or I'll watch it some other kind of way. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested in that Sasha Charlotte 30 the Iron Man 30-minute
Yeah,
match.
Iron Woman it should be called, but they decided to just call it an Iron
Arn
Man.
person.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably gonna check that out. So yeah,
Watch any
that's it for wrestling talk.
watch any interesting TV this week? I'm trying to think. I don't think I watched that
Everything is
much.
ended, so like
Yeah,
all the
winter finale.
the major shows that I watch are over for now. Did we talk about the Walking Dead finale? I believe we did.
The winter finale. I
Yeah,
mean, I've pretty much like I don't even
you're
watch
off
it
the boat.
regularly.
You're off.
The Negan train, the Negan sadistic
Yeah,
bastard train.
yeah. It's
So what's happening with that? Are they finally getting? I don't know that
they
I
finally
read something.
decided to
Some girl
everybody.
almost shot him or something.
Yeah, Carl. Well, yeah, Carl came at him with the machine gun, and there was this whole kind of standoff situation where Negan decides, instead of killing Carl for attempting to shoot him with the machine gun, he's like, I'm gonna take you under my wing, boy, and he brings him back to Alexandria. In this, he is basically just trolling everyone like he always does, and he's threatening people, and he's waiting for Rick, who's off on a run, and he's basically promising some kind of retribution for what Carl did, and Rick finally is on his way back, and this other character, Rosita, she had Eugene make her a homemade bullet, but apparently he only made her one, so she attempts to shoot Negan,
And he
and
shoots
yeah,
the bat, right?
Lucille, yeah, she shoots Lucille, and
The
like
dumb fucking show.
he's pissed off, but instead of, like, he doesn't kill Rosita, who just tried to shoot him. Like this is the thing that makes it like unrealistic, because like he's giving these people multiple chances, and instead of, like, whenever they come at him and attempt to kill him, he basically forgives them and punishes someone else. So like he has his henchmen say kill someone. Uh, so she turns around and just shoots this woman who's like the guarding the pantry or whatever. So he shoots this woman, this random woman, Olivia, and that's the punishment for Rosita trying to kill him. So it's
Wow, Zach,
really dumb.
I can't believe that the ratings have been dropping on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's dumb, and I understand why people are are not on board anymore. I I think, like I've said many times, like if you just binge this and watch the whole season, it would be more enjoyable. But it's like spreading it out over each week, and then you have this kind of cliffhanger at the end of it, and then you have to wait months until you come back. It's not
They love their
the best
fans.
format for the show. So, like, I would say for all those people who got off the Walking Dead train during the season, check it out when it gets posted on Netflix, and then you might appreciate it a little bit
I'm sure
more.
AMC loves to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, this isn't how they would prefer people consume it, but it is the best way to consume it. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else is on break, except for a couple shows like Fresh Off the Boat and those ABC shows. They still have like their
Blackish.
Christmas episodes. I have not watched Blackish since the first season. It's just
I haven't watched it regularly myself, but I hear good things about it, and
I
you know,
hear
they
it, but I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't click with me. It's just
network TV, man.
annoying. Yeah, and it
Unless it's
just
like the CW,
yeah,
the
like
superhero show.
superhero shows are pretty much all I try to keep up with. I mean, and I like most of the ABC comedies. I mean, well, not most. I like Fresh Off the Boat. Uh,
I stopped
uh,
watching Modern Family a
Modern
couple years
Family has
ago.
definitely jumped the shark. It's like they have no more story ideas, so they're basically like redoing stuff they've done
Everybody's
seasons
old.
ago.
The kids are
Yeah, it's
in
like
their 20s.
they have no more ideas. They're just showing up to get a check now. Um,
And it shows.
yeah, so it's like I like Fresh Off the
They
Boat
took
and the
ABC took
Goldbergs.
away. They took away my guilty pleasure, Nashville, Wednesday
Nashville.
nights.
I've never checked that out. So you're a big Hayden
It's
Panettiere fan. I
Connie Britton. They canceled it now. It's going to be on CMT, the country music television, in January. I
so
don't
it's
have
actually
CMT on my cable system.
so it's actually renewed. It's gonna be new episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good for them. I just I don't know anything about the show. I've never seen it, but I dislike the
It's
fact
crap.
that uh, I just dislike the fact that Hayden Panettiere didn't return to Heroes because she's on Nashville.
Uh,
And so I didn't really get into Heroes when it came back. I watched probably a handful of episodes and didn't finish. Um, but yeah,
you more than most people,
yeah,
apparently.
yeah. I did not hear good things, so I'm probably not gonna finish that off. So far, only thing I have to look forward to is whatever episodes we have left of People of Earth, and I still haven't finished watching Search Party. So that's probably what I'm gonna use my holiday to catch up on and find some
I
other
uh,
shows.
I still don't have my NES Classic Mini. Best
Keep
Buy's supposed
looking.
to have some in stock on Monday, but it'll probably be like a huge line of people there, so
So what's the
I
price
may
for
have to wait until
the classic?
it's it's only $60,
Okay.
but assholes have been
Yeah, they're
like
selling it for
buying
like
them
170. I've
exactly
seen on. I saw
200 and
somebody selling it
300.
on the Facebook Marketplace for like 179. Yeah. So
Like
good
no,
luck with that.
no.
I'm probably gonna
Yeah.
keep my eye out for the the 3DS XL when it goes back on sale because same sales they had on Black Friday, they're gonna have them again after Christmas. So maybe I'll pick one of
Which
those
stores?
up.
Is all of them or most of them?
I saw it.
I may get on that.
Yeah, I saw it on. Usually Amazon matches whatever the popular sale is. Like I think I first saw the 3DS XL on sale at like GameStop. I saw it on their website, and Amazon had it for the same price. So if they drop it back again, maybe I'll finally get it because that's about half off of the normal price. So that's probably the only thing I'm gonna be checking out for this, I guess, post Christmas shopping time. Because I don't, like I said, I'm a Mario person, but I want that premium Mario experience. So that's
That
probably
premium
that's probably the
Mario
closest
caviar,
I'll get. Yeah, Mario selects
first
Mario
class Mario.
Mario Deluxe. So yeah, that's really I all I had to contribute for this week's episode. Did you have anything else?
Are you gonna buy your wife anything for Christmas?
I mean, every day is Christmas for my wife.
Oh,
No,
okay. Good
no,
answer. Good answer.
no. Actually, we're gonna do some stuff. I have things planned, but that's not for anybody else to know.
Nah.
Anyways, let's give out our deets and social media stuff so people can contact us on this road to Christmas mania.
You hear that song? Doesn't right on cue?
Yeah.
At Tony, at Anthony Hoffman on Facebook and Twitter, and on Instagram it's at Tony Hoffman, CHI, Tony Hoffman Shy, and there we go.
And check out him at Nutcracker Shy on Tinder. I don't.
This is a public domain song. I know that. No
Yeah.
copyright laws here.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Zach from Chicago. That's ZAC from Chicago. I'm also on Facebook, Zach Hughes. YouTube.com/Zach Hughes. And you can check out the podcast on Twitter. You can see some of my funny tweets if I think they're funny.
Wacky.
Uh,
They are funny.
at Frustrated Grad. and check out the audio version of this podcast on frustratedgrad.com, Google Play Podcasts, and iTunes, as well as this video version you're watching. Hopefully, you're watching it now on YouTube, and that address is youtube.com/frustratedgrads. So, for
This would
my
make a great Christmas gift.
yeah,
Share this on YouTube and share the podcast.
share this podcast for that special podcast fan in your life. Speaking of we got some post-show talk that I want to talk about.
Okay.
But thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for joining us. And thanks for being a part of this festive edition of the Frustrated Grad Podcast. That's all you get for today. Alright. Alright. So, post-show bonus conversation.
Post game.
I didn't even realize that you had turned the video back on because I guess this thing that I'm streaming on just captures the window when I click on it. So I hadn't clicked on it for a while, so it was just still showing that picture, like just the still picture. And I saw the little preview thing like just below my taskbar, and I was like, hey, it's moving. And then I clicked it, then the video finally popped up. So how long into the podcast did you turn on a video?
I want to say maybe after the first 20 minutes.
God damn it. So I only got it for the last 5 minutes.
That's cool.
So that sucks.
I should have said something.
But yeah, so that's fine.
It was when you could hear the music more clearer because you
that's
you
when
mentioned
it clicked
that.
in.
Yeah.
Cause I was wondering it just got loud all of a sudden. God damn it! I should have had that minimized on the side because I keep trying to push this out of the way, but I forget that this thing doesn't stream.
Yeah. And I didn't want to say hey, I'm on video.
I mean,
I should have said.
I mean, we're broadcasting on video, so the video watchers would have been fine with it. Audio people were like, huh?
Right.
But yeah, anybody who's checking it out now in this bonus section on YouTube, they can see your face now. So congratulations to all of you. So you should throw up some, not a gang sign, but maybe for the secret listener/viewer Easter egg, you can do some kind of gesture, and if they tell us what the gesture was, will you tweet at us at Frustrated Grad and tell us what Anthony did when you could finally see him on video. So, alright, so whatever your make your gesture now. Alright, so I guess they can alright, so they can tell us what we're seeing right now. And you tweet that to at Frustrated Grad. What are they looking at in this bonus segment of the video? Alright. Anyway, getting back to the task at hand, what are we going to call this episode?
We talked about Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One and Mario. So
and Mario.
Mario One. No. We could do something about
Rogue Goomba.
Rogue Run. No.
I like that.
Super Mario Rogue Run. No. I guess Rogue Run is a decent one.
Yeah.
Rogue Only One, because only one of us has seen the movie. So Rogue Only One. Maybe. Or Rogue One Half, because half of this podcast has seen the movie.
Rogue One Half. You don't like Rogue Run?
Rogue Run is probably a good one. It's a good tongue twister also. Yeah. Rogue Run.
Because it rhymes with Rogue One and Mario Run. So.
Yeah. So I guess that's going to be the title. And you can, if you've listened all the way to the end of this episode, you can tweet at us with the hashtag Rogue Run. Or you can just tweet me with whatever the bonus action or bonus gesture that was just seen at the yeah. Let me know what that is, or what you interpret that to be, and maybe you'll get a prize. Maybe.
Oh, Christmas
Or
gift.
you might get the infamous NPR no prize. But we'll see. Maybe I'll send something out to somebody if they tweeted us with the phrase that pays. All right, so that's
Don't.
nobody knows what that reference is. Nobody listens to radio in the '90s. Uh, but
We're old.
yeah, so that's it for this episode. This is officially the end, and now it's time for post show talk that you don't get to participate in. All right, stop